Game versus against Authority, the relegation game.
Everybody, and welcome back to the game once again. aAa in the bottom left, the same 5 champions. They've all actually left the base this time. aAa's now actually joining the team in that turret. They're playing Ring Around the Rosy right now. aAa's getting his dizzy on right now, hoping that that'll work out well for him. Meanwhile, games against, camping in the same position as before. They're sort of in the bottom right corner, kind of playing defensively on their jungle. I'm still surprised that they're not saying, hey, let's go find Nunu who's going to steal the race, because Nunu always steals the race. I don't know, like it seems like when 99% of the time one thing happens, you can plan for that and do things to your opponent because of that. Like they could have all, it would have been great. They could have sat right here and Nunu walks around this corner and gets owned. Like no one clairvoyance is this spot. No, the clairvoyance, up here or so, and plant the ward down, but no one clairvoyance is here, and you could just camp, and the line of sight's right there. Would have totally worked. I would have been a free first blood on the Nunu. I think that would have been the smart play. But what do I know? I can actually see everything, so that's all hindsight.
And Linux actually is doing exactly the same as we saw him before we got the regame, and sitting right on those wraiths. And I don't think that anyone from Game is actually going to come over there once again. So yeah, we will just take down the big wraith right from the start. So very similar or identical start to what we saw actually in the game before we had to have that regame coming in. And we will be seeing, I guess, Nif or no, Kevin actually, who will be pulling the blue buff for Zyla. So Mumu going to get started on his jungling pattern here as we kick off the game.
Yep, so here comes the lane in the bottom of the map. Looks like Tristana is waiting for Tarek to show up, as they haven't really seen the enemy champions. aAa actually hiding in the brush, and Tristana's like, where's the enemy team? But they have seen Warwick and Malzahar, so they feel pretty safe. They move on, and they're going to start last hitting. Tarek will sit in that top brush, waiting around to see if he's going to get ganked. Actually, an early ward coming out. That's actually pretty smart, because they should be afraid of that Nunu, and of course they are. Linak already getting his golem buff. That's going to be strong for him. He's actually going to immediately run up towards the top. He might play the invasion game, or he might gank Brand. Brand is available to get hit a little bit. He shouldn't take too much damage, but it's going to be worth Nunu showing up. So here he comes. Linak going to lead his way up from the brush. Rake won't see him coming in time. He will get a little bit of free damage there. Ice Blast actually doing some decent damage, actually, about 60 points, so that'll get regenerated over time, but still not too bad. Looks like Nunu has some nice movement speed as well, 387 as he walks around. Looks like Amumu will clear out the rest of this camp here. Those spells coming out, getting himself some nice kills, and he's probably going to recall back, as it looks like he's... actually, he's going kind of some weird direction. Oh, I think he might come to gank or something. I'm not quite sure what he's up to. He's kind of running around. Oh, he's going to go invade the jungle, because he saw that Linak ganked top. He's going to invade and take... These neutrals down at the bottom of the map. That's actually extremely smart from Xylor. That's definitely the right play to do. Yeah, Nunu will get golems, but Mumu has pretty good rain. Here comes some push at the bottom. Yellowstar getting really low, and there comes Candy Panda putting out some harassment damage, and Kuja shields himself instead of his teammates. So Yellowstar getting some free harass, and she's getting lower and lower, down to 250 health. And that's the support player I want. Oh, there's some damage output? Let me shield myself.
No, that's the support player that I play. I support myself and no one else.
The Joe Miller of supports. Ooh, Malzahar actually finding a Mumu. He actually knew what he was trying to go for here. Finds him down at the bottom of the map, and he's actually covered that so that Linak can now come down and get his own raids. So that's pretty smart.
And Momo actually putting a fair bit of pressure on this middle area. Obviously, Anivia being fairly safe anyway with Kevin.
Yep, getting a little bit low, but Momo overall doing a pretty good job. The gold is slightly in the advantage of aAa for now. Against All Authority, ahead by 100 gold total, which doesn't mean much of anything, but for what that's worth, they are slightly winning by the metrics that we can see. And here comes again the push on Yellowstar. So much damage. Ignite coming in as well. And the flash for the push, but he's going to have to run back out of range of the turret. He's going to take a heal from Tarek and be okay, but that Ashe, 29 health. The thing is, if Triss didn't run backwards, he would have picked up the kill, and I think that would have been worth it, is to get that first blood. Type worth it in chat and get that extra gold right there. But Warwick now going to fight against Mumu up top as Brand has pulled back to go heal. He did get pushed around by that lane wick. Zyler not going to do too much to aAa. aAa's actually staying in there, just sweeping away at him, getting a lot of health. 100 HP gains from that Q right there. He's going to be pretty much happy with how that turned out.
Candy Panda does have, has actually leveled twice the rocket jump skill, so does have that nice escapability anyway. And we shall see how that goes. We can see Linak pushing a little bit aggressive there, just trying to zone game D out, and obviously they are a little bit wary. Linak already up at level 4. They need to be careful that he doesn't catch them out of position, but Linak is going to be... No, he's not, actually. He decides to stick around.
Interesting. Yeah, they're going to camp the brush. You can see that Candy Panda and Nif are definitely pushed back, unable to do anything. The Clairvoyance goes out, so he's going to start recalling. And he might actually bait some damage up here from game. They're going to push forward, and he's going to throw an Ice Blast onto Candy Panda. He will heal that back, but it's free harass, so why not? He'll take a shield and actually recall back again. Now he's going to go in for another Ice Blast, and Ash will just barely miss that volley. They're going to push on for quite a bit of damage here. Candy Panda getting quite low, actually, and that's going to be pretty painful. So nice aggression there from Against All Authority. They managed to get themselves some decent advantage there. But Rake actually unopposed in the top lane. Going to wait for Warwick to come on back. Has picked up a couple more items. Looks like this could be a fast Spirit Visage. So far, he's got the Null Magic Mantle so far with those boots.
Yep, I think the Spirit Visage will be coming out early on, as we see Yellow Star actually starting to push up in towards Candy Pan, who did go down a little bit earlier on, fairly low. We saw Linak putting the aggression in. Obviously, Kevin around this middle area is going to be kind of mopping up. We will be seeing Momo going down. He is actually really low HP after a little bit of a tussle there, and does buy himself pretty much his Catalyst, obviously the Sapphire Crystal and the Ruby Crystal.
Yeah, he's going to be okay with how that turns out.
Up at the top, Rake was putting a little bit of pressure onto Soaz. Actually, the stun will come in, and that'll be a decent amount of damage put out by Rake. Down at the bottom, we have a little bit of a tussle once again as Candy Pen just rocket jumps away, just because it's faster that way, even though there was no pressure on him whatsoever. Oh, this could be interesting though. Yeah, and he actually will get caught there. And that will stop Candy Panda going back as early as he wanted to. Kevin also going home in middle. So game are being forced to portal home, in fact, on all three lanes right now.
Wow, every single one, you're right. Yeah, well, Rick's just going to stay around for a little while longer. He's picked up boots, he's got health potions. You shouldn't be too afraid of Warwick just yet, but Warwick with 81 magic resist, really not afraid of Rake anymore. He will put on some harass damage. You just look at Soaz and he's like, yeah, I took some damage, but I'm still lane wick, so slash care right there. And yeah, 175 health per Q. He's got some decent mana regen coming through. He's going to be pretty much fine in this game. He's not really too worried about how this game turns out. I'm sorry, he's worried about this game turns out, but he's not worried about his progress in lane. He's going to be pretty much fine here, and that's going to work out well for him. Momo versus Kevin in mid. Kevin does have the tier of the Goddess already, so not really building any health in this Anivia. Going for the fast tier, going for a lot of mana. Turn that into an Archangel staff later in this game. Some harass from Malzahar going to kill off these minions pretty quickly, but Kevin basically mostly worried about his mana pool, and Momo's actually not pressing on him too hard. It looks like the Golem is going to be under attack now. He's going to go to Moma. Going to use that Call of the Void. Going to pick that one up. Level 7 with the Golem buff is a pretty scary Malzahar, so it's going to be alright. But bottom lane, looks like some harass came out onto Yellow Star. Taking a bit of damage from that Taric Tristana combo.
Yeah, once again, the aggressive rocket jump in there from Candy Panda, just putting out some damage onto Yellow Star, who, of course, does have those health pots, so not going to be too much of a shame for him, but Candy Panda just trying to zone him out there of any experience that they might be able to be picking up. And it looks like they are going to get a few minions down onto that turret. Meanwhile, inside of middle, and Mumu was hanging around there for a brief second, and we're actually going to see maybe Rake and Soaz going up here at the top, as yeah, both players do have a ward down in that bush just to cover a little bit earlier on from any ganks that may come in there. And obviously they exchange a little bit of damage, but nothing really to write home about. We've just seen Soaz actually level up to level 7. Rake, I think, a little bit faster than at this stage. If we look down at the kills, actually 65 for Warwick and 36 for Rake.
Wow, Lane Wick is going very, very well. The Malzahar also at 63, and he's completely outlaning Anivia. He's only at 53. So far, aAA definitely doing much better in the gold income. 56 on Ashe, only 47 on Trace. And there's the damage output, doing a ton of damage here, but unfortunately misses the Ashe arrow, so Nif will be fine. Level 5 Taric almost has his first Philosopher's Stone. He's got everything but the recipe right now. Going to be all right. Up at top, Rake fighting Soaz. Not too much happening. Soaz will juke that Q right there. Rake still last hitting decently, but again, not as well as Warwick. Soaz really immovable here in lane. Getting a lot of free damage up here again. Pretty much unafraid of any harassment. He's got so much mana resist. Now 83. That Doran's been giving him a ton of ability power and mana regen. Even a little bit of base health. Really is difficult to push that Warwick around at this point.
Yeah, and I'm not sure at which point Rake's feeling that he can probably be winning this lane. He's definitely way behind in terms of the minion kills up on his top lane, but I guess his job against Soaz right now is just to hold it and make sure that you know, he doesn't die, most importantly. We still, of course, haven't seen First Blood. 10 minutes have just gone on the clock as well. And we are going to see some aggression down bottom here from Candy Panda. Does do the rocket jump in. Is taking a bit of damage back from Kuja, who, you know, with Janna not going to be doing all that much damage anyway. But still, and we are possibly going to see something up at top here as well, actually, as Kevin and Zyler have come in, and the wall was put down. Soaz did decide to flash over the top of it, and it got him out safely, losing barely a single bit of health.
Yeah, the flash is down, though, which is really, really good. That is the only escape spell that Warwick has. So that gank can come back a little while later, and unless he went utility spec, and it's probably not the case. It seems like most of the players who seem to like laning tanky DPS run a good 20 points in defense. So that'll be a good 4 minutes or so until he can flash again, and that's going to be the opening window these guys will have to gank top. He's going to be by himself. Does not have really good escape tools either. He does have that spear visit, so he's going to be nice and healthy. But again, if you have a chain stun team, it doesn't really matter how much durability you have this early on in the game. The base damages on spells will overpower your health, and that's what they're going to hope for here. So Muumu's sort of waiting in the brush at the bottom, but not going to get too much out of that right now. Yellow Star will continue to last hit. I think he screwed that one up, though. Hit that minion a little bit too early, lost that gold output. Yes, I am indeed commentating about last hitting. This is what I do. And these minions are doing, you know, a little bit of damage to that turret, actually. Yellow Star not doing a great job here, actually missing most of them. But hey, you know, he's still winning overall in the lane. Momo fighting versus Kevin. Momo on the losing end of that, as Kevin now has the golem buff, and Momo is, you know, his has timed out now. Kevin going to be playing not so aggressively anymore. He's going to use his ultimate to basically just channel down and kill these minions off. Level 9 on both these champions. 84 onto Anivia. Only 78 now on Malzahar. Yeah, so now that Anivia has hit level 6, she can pretty much infinite last hit everything forever. There's a lot of superfluousness in that sentence. But you know what? Whatever. Hyperbole is awesome. And just doing really well on Anivia right now.
We'll see down that bottom area the Hawk shot go off into the bush, which will reveal Nif. Not that Against All Authority were going aggressive or anything in towards that one, but you know, the thing about Tarek is so annoying inside of these bushes. Unless you really ward it up constantly, he's just going to sit there and you come anywhere close and he won't necessarily stun you, but that's always the fear for Against All Authority, that they're going to go close to that bush, they're going to get stunned. Candy Panda's going to rocket jump in there, and all of a sudden you're in there, and we actually see a Mumu move in there with the ultimate, and there is First Blood. It actually comes to Candy Panda, and he's going to rocket jump right in onto Yellow Star. Is he going to take kill number 2? Yes, he is. Great play from Game. Absolutely amazing. Candy Panda going 2 for 0. And they are going to take down the first turret of the game as well. They've got plenty of minions there. Got enough attack damage to make this happen? No. Okay.
Wow, I don't know if they're afraid of Nunu, but they really could have gone for that. They had Tarek was 6 by this point, I believe. He could have turned the ult on. Candy Panda, I'm going to check real quick if he's actually leveled up. Rapid Fire has not actually, so he's been all about just the rocket jump explosive shot damage output. I can't blame him. That worked so incredibly well. And it was beautiful to see that as they got that kill, just on the Janna. Janna dying gave the kill onto Ashe because it meant that Candy Panda could rocket jump again, slow down Ashe and be fine. And it was great play by Yellow Star too, because he actually cleansed the stun from Mumu and flash before Mumu popped the ultimate, so he's actually out of range of that and was completely safe. But I don't know if he stuck around a little bit too much or just couldn't run away fast enough. But that became really, really unfortunate there. For the AAA team. And Game, like I said, they're up 2-0 so far. And despite the double kill, they're actually almost equal in gold. So again, Against All Authorities, minion killing skills, pretty much unmatched this entire tournament. I've not seen any teams outlane as far as gold income is concerned. But the push onto Nif will land the stun. This guy is so incredibly dead. Tarek going down, Momo getting the kill there. That's nice for him. He really wants that gold. And they're going to position themselves for Dragon. Beautiful play by AAA. Managed to say, okay, look, you know, we're going to go for Dragon, we're going to catch someone out, and there's the pink ward to clear the wards. This is just completely correct play by them. Warwick even came down from the top to make sure that happened, and so they've gotten themselves a nice advantage now, bringing it back to 1-2 on kills, getting the only Dragon of the game, and your Candy Panda going to defend his turret against 4, though, as Warwick comes in. Candy Panda, I don't know what he can do, but he can rocket jump in, and the flash pushes back Nunu, running away, but Janna is now showing up for the slow. There's the Ice Blast as well. Candy Panda, I'm sorry, bro. It was a nice try, but 2-2, well played by AAA.
Yeah, Candy Panda probably a little bit annoyed because after that double kill went back, Berserker's Greaves, BF Sword was feeling all so mighty, and then 4 against 1.
Yeah.
But did a decent job of trying to get away. But we are seeing Anivia actually, obviously played by Kevin in this middle, just pushing in quite nicely. He's got a big minion wave, obviously, with him as well. Damage is going to go out onto that turret. We saw Rake up at top with Brand trying to do a similar job, but couldn't quite clear out the minions in time to be pushing it in onto that one. So the scoreline sits at 2-2. Obviously, 18.8 thousand gold to 16.7 in favor, of course, of Against All Authority. They've just done that dragon, which really helps them out going forward. But if we look at the ward coverage at this point, it's actually really nicely in the favor of Game as well. They've got pretty much the whole river warded out.
Yeah, it's really good by them for sure.
Which is not going to really last too long, as I spot Kuji does now have an Oracle, so...
Yeah, and also doesn't mean much because that dragon was taken anyway. The Kuja with Oracles is super strong because she will clear out these wards across the map and really, take away that map control advantage. But the bottom lane, those wards don't mean much anymore. Just because, yeah, ganks might matter, but with that turret down, that changes the entire dynamic of how these ganks can be shaped. So they do have that one ward in the back brush by their golem. That's going to really keep them alive because the ganks can all come through this avenue right here, and that's where they need to be watchful. So that is the right place to put a ward. Good there by Gamed. But overall, the advantage is really good for aAA, and you just see Momo charging across the map, coming towards top, going to support that Warwick. And actually, they might push down on Brand, who's kind of by himself in the jungle, and this could be scary, actually. So yeah, Rig very afraid to defend. Looks like 3 members of AAA. This is again a double suppression setup. This was what I was talking about earlier. Where this early game is going to be super good for them, where they can't pick down single targets. This is the advantages they need to build. But in late game, I still think Game doing a good job. And Amumu will flash over the wall, and here comes Tarek. Looks like Nunu going to take the stun first, and here comes the rest of the team who will miss that silence. And here is the damage output. It is immense. And who are they going to go for first? Looks like Moma in front, taking the Pyroclasm. Leenock extremely low as well. But they can't quite pick up any of these kills, but it does give them a nice 4v3 advantage up at top. And they're actually not going to do anything with it, though. They're actually going to back off entirely. Ashman pushing mid, doing some pretty good damage. This turret down to about 2/3. And looks like they're going to catch. Oh, they're going to catch a 2v2 in this fight. Can Brand do enough damage? Just Anivia getting extremely low. And yes, Janna will die. Game DE picking up that kill. And now Soa's taking a stun from Tarek to wall out. The damage from Rake is huge. Can they pick up Xylor? Looks like not, but Ash doing some good damage as well. And yes, Xylor will die to Soa's Ignite, and he will stay alive in the meantime. So 1 for 1, good kills so far. Looks like Ash going to flash away as best she can. Going to be fine with that cleanse. 1 for 1 there. And that's some wonderful stuff. The trade is pretty decent, but Game is positioned to take this turret down, and Soaz still kind of alone here. Candy Panda could make the push, but he's been spotted. Oh, they found Nunu, and Nunu's been blocked off. That damage output is huge, and he has gone down. Wow, that was
out of position completely there from Linek. I'm not sure what his idea was. I mean, Momo was behind him, Yellow Star was around there somewhere. Soaz was actually coming in from turret side, but it just didn't work out whatsoever. And Game D, we see Kevin there just putting down that defensive wall with Anivia, and they're going to get themselves out of there. For Game, that was a really good trade-off, and they're actually now ahead again in the kills.
They are back up to 4-3. Unfortunately, still down 2,000 gold. That's what happens when you kill 2 turrets and a dragon. It's the gold advantage is those 2 turrets and a dragon. The minion kills plus champion kills. The gold from that is all equaled out. The total experience levels, we look, 10-7, 12-12, 8, pretty strong. 8-11, 10, 8, 12. Yeah, it's a slight advantage, I think, for AAA. That's going to be nice for them, but it's not too far ahead. Look at the Malzahar, he's got 121 ability power. If you look over at Rake, he's got only 54. Anivia with only 83. So Malzahar definitely the most farmed mage in the game so far. If we look over, we compare, whoops, that's the wrong one. We look at Ashe. She's got 170 AD, the BS plus the Berserker's Greaves. Candy Panda, meanwhile, really pretty much the same items, actually. Has not really bought anything else, though I feel like Candy Panda should be the more farmed one. He's got 131 minion kills, slight advantage there. He's got more kills as Ashe has 0 and Candy Panda has 2. So overall, Triss should be slightly more farmed in this game. And that should actually play out for a great advantage. Triss able to do more damage than Ashe. Not only does she have her own steroid with rocket, sorry, not with rocket, but with rapid fire, but also does have more attack range past level 6 or so. And that's going to be the big advantage that she really wants to have.
Yeah, we've just seen the top tower being pushed down by Yellow Star, and obviously Game just backing away from that. It was a 1 versus 2. No reason to stick around a turret that's so low in HP anyway. And they may just try and probe out here. Still 4 from Game hanging around, so I'm not sure that they're going to go in for that one. It looks like Against All Authority are going to head back off towards the middle area. And actually, they've just spotted this Against All Authority team coming down.